Welcome to my YouTube channel where we demonstrate and discuss everything related to theatrical and entertainment production crafts. Please subscribe to get the latest updates, posts, and demonstrations. While I will focus primarily on safety in the shops and comprehensive training and operating procedures for tools and machinery, I'll also demonstrate and discuss practical applications like flat and platform construction, scene painting, and more. If you'd like to see something specific, please let me know in the comments. Once again, please subscribe and power up the alert bell to get the most up-to-date notifications about new content. Each side of the plywood is graded by a letter grade, A, B, C, D, X. Those are the common grade scales, A being the best surface, X being the worst surface. CDX plywood, the worst grade plywood that you can get, is general purpose. Neither surface matters in terms of a finish because you're going to be covering it with some other material. The CDX also means there's going to be a lot of knot holes and voids on both sides. And it's general purpose construction plywood, but it's not going to be something that you want to use for a plywood lid in a platform in set construction. You want to use BD grade. The smoothest surface is the B grade and the D is the worst surface, or AC plywood, which is the A is the best surface and the C is the back. You don't need to go up to AA grade plywood, cabinet grade plywood, something that's got a perfect finish on both sides. Although if you do, you will have better built platforms, but they will be more expensive. How do I identify the plywood? Well, usually you can tell one side is better or smoother, and this is the A side, and then I turn it around to the other side, and I've clearly got a C side. I've got some knots here, it's not filled. I've got knot holes there. It's not sanded as smooth. Sometimes it's hard to tell which side is which, but this one's pretty clear that this is AC plywood. This looks like it's probably A on this side and C on this side. Similar grain pattern, is probably from the same batch of plywood. These knots are not filled or dressed, and our surface isn't very smooth. Sometimes you will find, if it's a really bad knot hole, there will be a big biscuit-shaped piece that's been cut out and replaced and filled. Half-inch plywood, A grade. Half-inch plywood, C grade. We've got visible knot holes and some imperfections. The A and the C are the conditions of the surface. So our common AC plywood that we get from the lumber mill is going to be 5 layers. That's the pretty standard common for 3/4 inch plywood, 5 layers wide. This plywood has many more layers than 5. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 layers. 13 layers. I can't tell what this is because it's been painted, but I'm pretty sure this is some remnant Baltic birch cabinet grade plywood, 13 layer plywood. And this is the higher quality, and the Baltic birch would be A side on one side and A or B on the other side. So it's really good quality plywood. We don't normally have it in stock in the shop, but I bought some a couple summers ago for some projects. There is one other grade plywood that you can get, but you're probably not going to use it in theater, usually a marine grade plywood. What marine grade plywood means is that this surface is finished and clean, and if there were any imperfections, it would have a fill. The A side, if it was AA, if it was that Baltic birch plywood, it would also have these filled. It doesn't guarantee that there are no voids in the middle layers. But if you get marine grade plywood, it's going to guarantee that every layer of plywood has all those voids filled. The reason you need those voids filled with marine grade plywood is if you're building a boat, whether it's out of fiberglass with a plywood core or otherwise, you don't want voids in the middle of your plywood where you run the boat or the vessel into a rock, and then that's going to collapse all the layers into that void in the center. So you need all those interior voids to be gone. Usually the plywood I'm able to get from one of the local lumber yards, I'm able to get a 7-layer plywood, and it's got a little bit less warpage in it. It's a little bit better than the 5-layer plywood I'm able to get at the local home improvement big box stores.